is only war.
40k Dirtbags here. We got a battle report for you. We're doing Deathwatch versus our Chaos Space Marine. We changed up the Chaos Space Marine list a little bit with Manny just winning the Games Workshop US Open for the first time ever. He ran the triple Curse Cultist, triple Chosen, triple Legionnaires, triple Rhinos, just spams everything. Good player. Some controversy. I'm not going to get into it, but he won with Chaos Space Marine. So we don't know if Curse Cultist is going to be nerfed or not. Who the hell knows? It's probably going to. Hopefully it's not nerfed before LVO, because I was going to run this list prior to Manny running it at all these tournaments. LVO just can't come soon enough, but I'm going to be running something with Chaos Space Marines at LVO. Who knows if the thing's going to be nerfed beforehand, but we'll find out. So this battle report, we're testing it into Jack. We changed up the list a little bit. We'll go over the list for you real quick, and then we'll get back into the battle report.
All right, today we got our triple ACDC, freshly painted up. We got the yellow squad, the red squad, and the green squad. We also have a unit of 10 cultists, which are going to be proxied by guardsmen. We have 3 Chaos Lords, all undivided. We have 3 units of Chosen. They all have power fists, plasma, 2 combi weapons in there as well, and then another. It's basically like all the melee for the Chosen. 2 Legionnaires. The leader has the power fist as well as the plasma. There's a heavy weapon in there as well. The rest of them are melee. 3 units of Rhinos with Nurgle, a Nurgle Forge Fiend, and 2 units of Nurglings. So this is the 2,000 point Chaos Space Marine list. It's a little bit different than the Slaanesh triple Legionnaires. We actually took one of those out to add cultists because I really like cultists, and added another Nurgling unit in there. But usually it's 3 Legionnaires with 3 Chosen, with leaded by 3 Lords and 3 Rhinos.
Unit of Deathwatch Terminators with 3 plasma cannons, Lieutenant with combi weapon, Calidus Assassin, 3 units of Inceptors, 1 with bolters, 2 with plasma, squad of vets with Inferno heavy bolters, and a Watchmaster with the Tomb of aeldari, which allows me to have 2 Oaths of Moment in the same turn, 2 targets, 2 units of Eradicators, 2 Librarians with 2 units of Infiltrators, 2 units of Eliminators in the Impulsor, and a unit of Hellblasters with an Apothecary in the other Impulsor. And again, a whole lot of guns, not much assault.
That's a lot of shit.
It's a lot of guns.
And what like battle tactic are you in, Space Marine?
We have our own. We're using the Black Spear Task Force. So once per game we can go into
All right, so you get lethal, sustain, or precision once per game
for the entire army.
Awesome. And that's determined like just the command phase?
Just the command phase ability.
Cool.
So you can see I changed up the list a little bit. I do like cultists with Chaos Space Marines, just with the sticky objectives blocking out most of the backfield. I am testing out still the secondary missions, not fixed. So eventually I'm going to be testing out fixed with the list as well. I don't have any runs with it, so I didn't want to test it out with fresh. So with that change in the list, I did like this list a little bit better. You can do the triple Legionnaires, except you're gonna have somebody camp your backfield most of the game. So with the sticky, at least you can make it sticky and then kind of walk them off it. Or if they die on the objective, you still don't have to worry about taking it again because it's already sticky. So that's my take on his list. This is just a little bit different. And obviously with Jack's list, he's been playing this for a little bit. He really wants to get it honed in and kind of knowing it on the back of his hand. I really like the snipers with the 1 tank. That way they can kind of move out, shoot, and then just ridiculous. And then he'll go over at the end kind of like what we would have done differently throughout the game. But if you guys are new to the channel, appreciate clicking on the video. If you guys are Patreons, thank you so much for supporting the channel. We just actually upgraded, not this camera, but we bought a wireless camera with the proceeds from Patreon, where we're actually going to be able to stream live anywhere we go. It's this little it's over there. So it's a little thing that lasts 6 hours. You can store a little micro SD card in it. We bought a 256 gigabyte SD card to put into it, so that way we can record on the go, and then that way I can kind of give you live streams of tournaments that we're going into. We're doing one on Saturday with this list, so I'm going to try and record as much as I possibly can, maybe stream live at the thing. But it was like a $350 camera. So thank you, Patreons. We're going to try and upgrade as much as we possibly can. And again, it's all to you guys. So if you want more content like this, head over to patreon.com. If you guys are in the competitive scene like we are, you guys get one-on-one coaching with me or another dirtbag on the team. So that way we can coach you to get better at 10th edition. So let's get into the battle report, and then we will go by turn, picture by picture, and give you insights on what we could have done better and how to get your skill better at 10th edition 40k. Alrighty, so we got Jack versus Derek. These are all the secondaries that we have to the right here, and then we have the table set up. So we are practicing this table edition. So we did he's going to redo his terrain. He already told me that, but like this thing is too small, and then this thing is a little bit too small. He's going to go like 12 by 12. But it's basically the mosh pit in the center, and then at the top here, these need to be a little bit bigger with the L's, and then this one right there. So we did it best we can for the alternate universes terrain, but center, one in our own deployment zone, and then we're starting slanted deployments. So I have one infiltrator up here, the other one's deep striking with the Nurglings. He has two infiltrators, one back here, one right there, and then he's got the solo Space Marine dude right there, just in case he needs to get something in the center turn one. And then he started his other tank over here, and then his other tank over here, and then some guys back here with the assassin all the way in the back. So if you guys watch my how to deploy turn one video, Jack did very, very good deploying turn one. So this is basically how you want to be deploying, so that way no matter what you get for tactical secondaries, you're able to go almost any single secondary that you need with this type of deployment. Same thing, I kind of did exactly the same thing, where I have a Rhino up here, Nurglings, Cultists back here, and then all the two units of Cursed Cultists, one in Rapid Ingress reserves, and then I have 2 units in that Rhino, 2 units in that Rhino. So basically similar setup on both sides. Now we have our Nurgle Cursed Cultists out front. In case he does get any shots off, I can Nurgle strat them, and then all the Rhinos are Nurgle as well, so I can Nurgle them as well. This unit isn't Nurgle, but if he shoots them, I'm going to be able to make one to have an additional 2 to 4 inches of movement, so that way I can advance and charge turn one if he kills any of those Cursed Cultists. And then which I believe I started on the table. I'm used to having one in reserve, one started on the table, but I think this time I started it on the table. And then in his reserves, he's got Terminators, and the 2 units of Melted Dudes, which are just super good now. Rerolls, hits, wounds, damage, like it's nuts. So we happen to have, this is our deployment, and then this is his deployment. So like I said, pretty standard. And these are all the reserves. So these guys are walking in as well, because Rapid Ingress, go watch that video, it's really good. So we had turn 2. So he went turn 1. He got a tempting target and behind enemy lines. So he couldn't really get behind enemy lines, because obviously he's not bringing anything in on his turn 1 to get behind enemy lines. And then tempting target, I picked, I believe, this one down here to be the tempting target, so that way I can kind of fish him out a little bit, so that way I can get a target to move up and charge. He kind of already had it, and then the center would have been super easy for him to get as well. So I wanted this one to kind of bait him out a little bit, so that way he can kind of move his guys out, which he did, which gave me an easier charge for my guys out of the Rhino to come out and then charge him off the objective. So tempting target, you really have to think about. So you want to pick one of the 3 center objectives where you either, it's really hard for him to get, which in this case it was turn 1, it wasn't hard for him to get, or where you want the battle to go. So in this case, I wanted the battle to go down here, so he moved down south, so that way I can move up and take over this flank, because I still have guys in Rapid Ingress, so if I need to bring more guys in on the bottom, I could do that. So that's kind of why he did tempting target down here, which he got 5 points for. And then our turn 1, we got secure no man's land and deployed teleport homers. So for our deployed teleport homers, we scooted up our legionnaires out of the rhino, so they basically just hopped out, did deploy teleport, which is within 6 inches of the center. So they deployed teleport homers in the center, and then this rhino scooted up with the chosen inside. Oh no, chosen got out because they had to advance, so they have to advance, which they can shoot, which means they're eligible to do an action. So they advance out of the rhino up to here to get within 6 inches of the objective, and then we still have the legionnaire squad in the rhino over here. There's a chosen squad in this rhino up here, which had moved around the side, and then one squad got out here. So I was going to advance the chosen behind the wall, so I advanced and I only rolled a 1. So there's actually nobody in this rhino right now. I advanced out, and since I only rolled a 1, I kept them behind the wall. If I rolled really high, they could have advanced out and charged this rhino or this tank to try and surround it to kill the guys inside. But since I rolled low, I kept them behind the wall, and then this rhino basically just ran up on the other side of the wall here. Nurgling scooted up to stay within 14 inches of the corner in case I get investigate signals, so that way they can kind of scooch back, be within 9, and then still get that. These guys made this bottom one sticky, and then we spread out a little bit more. The Forge Fiend scooted up so that we can get line of sight to shoot something over here, which we forgot to shoot, by the way. And then these guys got shot by some of his snipers over here, so we were able to make 3 little guys, which gave us a further charge turn 1. So they spent their once per game advance and charge, so they scooted up, advanced I think 3 or 4 inches, which gave us like a 3 or 4 inch charge to this squad right here. And we already know that they can kill infiltrators really easily, especially with the heavy beasts in the squad. So they're 2 damage, so they just basically wipe out a whole unit just by themselves. So they scooted up and then charged to kill these guys. I wanted to get onto the tank to try and tag up the tank and block the tank so these guys can't get out, but there wasn't enough movement. And then these guys advanced, and then these guys advanced out to charge these guys over here. So it's pretty standard turn 1, just basically move everybody forward and get into combat. So this is where we ended up. So these guys, the chosen, finished off this unit right here. So they charged in, killed them, consolidated behind this wall, tagging up this character, which left them on 1 wound. And then I was able to get 1 guy from this unit into the character over here, which still left them on 1 wound. I think he's got a 5-0 field in pain, which is insane. Then this librarian, I believe, is still alive. So he's got a librarian with 1 wound. You like his dice. So he's got a librarian with 1 wound, and then this character with 1 wound, both in combat still. And then this tank, we made the charge, like it was a YOLO charge from the guys behind here. So I think I rolled a 10, which I think I needed a 10, which we rolled a 10, and then I was like, do really anything to the vehicle. Took it down to 4 wounds, so they must have done some. Took it down to 4 wounds. I think that was just from shots going into it, but finished up here. So all I could do is bring his guys out on the back here and not on the objective. So that was a pretty good turn 1 charging for the Chaos Space Marines. So we have basically the whole board tied up right here. So that way on his turn 2, we can't really bring anybody in. These guys can come within 3, but you can't really stop them. So he's got a choice on where to kind of bring his guys in on his turn 2. So his turn 2, he gets engage in all fronts, which is pretty easy for him, and then capture enemy outposts. So I did put most of my cultists on the objective because I'm used to playing Grey Knight, so I don't want him to steal my home field objective, which he has guys that can come within 3 inches. So as long as you block out your home field objective so nobody can come within 3 inches, you're pretty safe with this. And then there's on this objective and steal it from me, so he wasn't able to get capture enemy outpost. But engage in all fronts, he's able to get pretty easily on turn 2. So he's got a unit over here, deep striking, a unit down here, deep striking. These guys scooted up over here to get on the objective. This guy fell back. The librarian fell back over there. These guys hopped out, moved, and then the tank fell back. Then these guys came down over here. The assassin came up, came back down in the backfield. So he's got all 4 quarters, which got him 5 points. He had 5 for primary because he held his back objective on his turn. And then capture enemy outpost, obviously he couldn't get it this turn, because even if he kills all of these cultists off this objective, he's still not able to steal it because I have Sticky, which we talked about, on my home field objective. So it's all about just chewing down cultists right now. After talking about it, we talked about at the end of the game, if you could just focus down one cultist unit every single turn, that is the goal. And especially since I don't have Abaddon with a 4-up invuln save, they only have a 5-up invuln save, 6-up field of pain. So try and snipe out the character if you can, which most games character is right there behind a wall. My other character is back here behind a wall. So it's really hard to kind of see them at any given point. So if you're playing the Cursed Cultist, make sure you're protecting your character behind a wall every single time. So he should have deep struck most of his shit just to kind of put all the shots into this red unit and just take those off the board. And then the Chosen, he can kill them with the 3 damage snipers over here. So they basically move out, shoot, and then move into the tank. But since the tank fell back, he can't shoot after falling back unless you have a strat, which I don't think he does. And then down here, he's just got a bunch of plasma dudes in this thing over here. So let's get into our turn 2, which I forgot. Again, the Forge Fiend's behind this wall, but me standing, this is my point of view. I don't see it, so I didn't shoot it last turn. So the Forge Fiend should have shot this tank to blow it up, and then the guys inside should have charged to tie up the snipers. That was my mistake on turn 1. But then turn 2, we were able to kind of move up and shoot, I believe, these 3 guys at the top here because they're 3 damage, 3 wound guys. So I should have rapid ingressed my Accursed Cultist probably down here. So the way on my turn I could have moved up and shot, but I couldn't rapid ingress because his guys were here. So there wasn't enough room to go on this side. There wasn't enough room to go on this side because I can't come in his deployment side. So he did pretty good at blocking me out from my rapid ingress target. Ingress on my turn 2. So I had to save them for turn 3 after I kind of clear the board out basically all 3 quarters that I could bring my guys in. On turn 3, I'm able to bring in on his deployment zone, so that's going to help out on the top of turn 3 next turn since he went first. All right, so what did we get turn 3? We got bring it down and no prisoners. So basically it's all about just killing people and killing the vehicles. So this vehicle is at 4, this vehicle is at 5. So we have basically 2 vehicles that we can try and kill and then just kill as many units as we possibly can. On our primary, we got 10 turn 2. So let's go into what we can kill on our turn. So the green guys spent their once per game advance in charge, so they're basically going to scoot up and try and kill and block out the guys in here, so that way we can potentially kill more guys, because his Terminators in the back here because there wasn't a lot of room after my movement to come back down, so we rapid ingressed over here. Our Chosen advanced up over here to try and kill some characters and units on this side over here. And this is where the board state is. So the Rhino screwed up in the center to kind of just block out. We blocked out all of back here. The Forge Fiend moved out the block here. Rhino blocked here. The Nurglings and Legionnaires blocked here. Rhino blocked here. So basically, let me see if I could draw for you guys. It's the first time drawing. Okay, so basically from here, here, and then where are my guys? Right here. So all of this is blocked out. So basically everything besides, can I change the color? No. Everything besides here and here is blocked out. So this is going over the rapid ingress and defending against rapid ingress and deep strikes and stuff like that. This list has a lot of fucking units in it. This is what I really like about this list, is you could block out a lot of it. So with this table setup, this is turn top of 3, I believe. So no, this is bottom 2. So bottom 2, we're able to block out all of this. So he's only able to rapid ingress here or back here, which he's basically in his deployment zone anyway. So we did a really good job of just blocking out the entire zone, so that way you can bring guys in, which will be really good for. All right, back to the picture. So these guys didn't get killed off, so we were able to make 3 little guys on our turn. There's still 1 big guy, 2 little guys, and then we made 3 little guys. So we have the character left with 1 wound, which he precisioned 3 damage with 1 of the snipers, and we made 1 out of 2 saves. So then 2 little guys left, 1 big guy, and then we made 3 little guys to kind of just be annoying still. So they basically moved up to try and get some charges off over here. There are 3 snipers left. 3 snipers died. And then all of these guys basically scooted up to try and finish off this tank. These guys came out, Legionnaires, they basically came out of the Rhino over here to try and finish off these 3 guys. Nurglings scooted back. Forge Fiend moved up to either shoot these guys, the Rhino, or I think that's all you could see. So either the top guys and the Rhino. The cultists are just doing their job, just chilling on the objective. I think there's 5 or 6 left. Rhinos in the center. These guys, again, moved their advance and charge once per game to get +1 to hit, +1 to wound. And then the Legionnaires down here hopped out of the Rhino to try and finish all these guys down here. Cool. So we got 7 for Bring It Down and then 5 for No Prisoners. So that was basically the end of our charges. So we have 1 guy over here, which I think died. We have this guy that died from shooting, potentially grenades. We basically tied up this tank with all of these dudes over here, blew it up, and then these guys are still there. These guys made the charge over here, which I think we did our once per game, +1 with the Lord, +1 strength, attack, damage, and armor pen. We were able to kill all the characters and units over here. So the chosen unit of the Lord is just insane against infantry. So his turn 3, we kept him to a 0 for primary because we have all of the objectives on our turn. He got no prisoners, an overwhelming force. So pretty hard at this point. He's just got to kill units. So the units that really he can focus down is this red unit down here. This chosen unit's pretty full. This chosen unit's pretty full. Legionnaires are like, it's really, you can kill this cultist unit, but he doesn't have a lot of units to come back in. He started bringing in his melta guys to try and help out. This assassin was not able to get back here. So this was our first game back from the honeymoon and being off for about 3 weeks. So I wanted to make a video on defending without even thinking. So me and Jack actually spent a little bit of time of talking about this moment right here, where that picture that I showed you beforehand was basically just me placing my models, because I was so used to defending, is I'm just basically measuring out 9 inches all over the board, and it was pretty quick because I'm just so used to doing it. But then it was his turn to bring his assassin back in, and we took a moment right here to put down the 9-inch measuring stick, and it was just so close, but he couldn't fit his base in this little corner back here with the assassin, and he literally couldn't go anywhere on this side of the table because 9 inches, 9 inches, 9 inches, 9 inches, 9 inches, like basically blocked out everything. Just it was molded in my head just to block out 9 inches everywhere. So on practicing defending against deep strikes and reserves and all that stuff is a really good skill set in 40k in every edition that you play. So watching videos and practicing and testing on your own table is really going to help out guys defending. Even in this situation, if he had behind enemy lines or deployed teleport homers, he could have got like 9 points just from this one assassin. But instead, we were able to block it out with just a 55-point half unit in the back here, which saved us 9 points. Take a picture, describe it, and kind of really go over on why it's so important to block out your backfield. All right, so then on his turn, again, he had overwhelming force, which he had to kill guys on objectives, and then no prisoners. So nobody was really on objective that he can kill, and it was really hard to get no prisoners. So I think he killed the cultist squad up here that only had one chick left. Yep. Finished her off, got the 2 points, and then our turn we had 10 points for primary. We get assassination, and a tempting target. So he has to pick one of the 3 objectives to control, which we control all 3, so that's going to be a pretty easy one to get. And then assassinate. Who can we pick? We have nobody left that's a character alive, or this guy's alive. So we have the apothecary dude that basically fell back behind this wall, so we have to try and kill this apothecary to try and get assassinate, or the assassin right here smack dab in the center. So I think we go for the assassin, because if we can to try and kill him, we'll be able to get the assassin for 5 points. So that turn we did get assassinate and a tempting target pretty easily. And then for his turn 4, we again control this objective, this objective, this objective, our home objective, and this one. So we kept him to a 0 again, which was tough. He has his melted guys that walked in over here, his melted guys that walked in over there. A cursed cold, and then because his whole zone was basically blocked out. So we had to bring him in up here. We could have brought him in down here, but we already had enough down in this bottom corner to do anything. So we didn't really have to take over this bottom corner at all. We still got some legionnaires, right, or a chosen unit right here. They were going to come up and kill the assassin. These guys spent 1 CP to fall back, shoot, and charge. Legionnaires moved up over here. And then we basically just are tagging and controlling this bottom half over here. We can ignore the melted guys. They're not really going to do anything to our cultists. They're going to kill some small guys, so we don't really have to worry about them. Nurgling's deep struck over here because we got capture enemy outposts and aerial denial. So aerial denial we're able to get with the rhino in the center. Capture enemy outposts we already had with our chosen from turn 2 up here. And then on turn 5, Jack was able to get secure no man's land, storm hostile objective. Basically dead at this point. Yep, so all he's left is 2 chosen, an apothecary, 3 melted dudes, and this solo sniper at the top here. So this is the end board state. We basically have turn 5, aerial deny, engage on all fronts, and aerial deny. So those are our last 2 objectives that we got on turn 5. So the final points is, I think Jack forgot to give us points on turn 4, but turn 4 we would have got 10 points for primary, so that would have put us at about 55 for primary, but 50 for max. So then we got 40 for secondaries, and then we got 10 for painting. So it would have been 100 to 27. But 100 to 30 for Chaos Space Marine, and this is with the tactical secondary. So we didn't do any fixed. Now this would have been a good one to test fixed out on, just to do. I mean, behind enemy lines is really hard to get, but deploy teleport homers you can keep doing in the center with any one of our 1,000 units that we have. And then once we get into a deployment zone, we can start doing deploy teleport homers, because a couple of our guys didn't really have much to do, like this chosen unit, the Nurglings. We could have kind of advanced up another chosen unit just to tag his deployment zone and to deploy teleport homers. So there's a lot of stuff we could have been doing to test that out. So eventually we're going to start doing fixed. We have to test it out. We have a tournament coming up in 2 days, which I'm not sure if I'm going to do fixed or tactical, but this is going to be something that I'm going to be running. I might run something different. I'm going to be combining my Abaddon list, taking out Abaddon and adding basically 2 units of chosen, 2 lords, and a rhino instead of Abaddon. So that's going to be able to add 3 more units compared to Abaddon for that list. So I'm going to be testing that list out on Saturday. And then with this, you guys can see cultists are still very, very good. Hard to deal with if you don't have a list to specifically go against it. And even going into the mirror match, I think you have to separate yourself with the other cursed cultist units and know what to really focus down at any given time. So Forge Fiends, the other list is 2 Forge Fiends. So I think 2 Forge Fiends shooting into an accursed cultist unit without Abaddon is going to be able to nuke it down pretty easily. You basically get 3d3 blasts. So it's 3d3 plus 12 shots exploding on 5s because of Nurgle. going, and it's 3 damage weapon. So once you kill all the little guys, the big guys will just get murdered with the 3 damage. And with devastating wounds, they just won't be able to get a save. So if you put 2 units of Forge Fiends into 1 Accursed Cultist, you actually might kill the Accursed Cultist unit with 2 Forge Fiends. So that'll make up their points instantly. So I think Forge Fiends, if you're playing against Accursed Cultist, is your best counter to it, and then having somebody else to finish off whatever's left if you need to. So that's what I'm going to be trying out. Plus the Seekers, I think, are the secret tech with Chaos Space Marines. And then bikes are still very, very good. They can kill Accursed Cultists, whatever's left. And what else is in that? Oh, Sile. Sile's in that list as well. So Sile can kind of walk up, flamer a bunch of guys, do secondaries, control the backfield, whatever you need him for. Plus he gets back up, so he makes up his points 5/6 of the time. so that's the list. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. All right, guys, and we did get a bunch of new dice in. So we have this really, really cool, it's a dark gray red dirtbag dice. We have 500 of these available, so first come first serve. I think we already sold 100 of them, so we technically have 400 left. We have the blue dice, which just came in. So it's a dark blue with the white logo on it, so that's the dirtbag logo. The green and orange are coming in January, and the silver dice are gray and red, which is brand new. So those are going to be up for the Dirtbag Nation on Patreon. So head over to the merch page. We have Codiez and the Caldus Assassin up for sale as well. Those are 3D printed, but they look very similar, so you can use them as proxy models. And all the stickers are really good combo with the dice, so that way we can ship them all out at the same time. There's 3D6 Wargaming, which is sponsored with the Dirtbag Nation. Head over to the link below, that way you guys can pick any of these stickers to put on your own custom Dirtbag 3D markers, so you guys can actually use them. They're very good mouse pad material, very thin, and you actually are able to use them for the circle is for the objective. But yeah, so guys, head over to Patreon for that. But if you guys are, or head over to Discord for that. But if you guys are Patreons, thanks so much for the support. Appreciate it again. The camera that we got is going to be set up very soon, so that way you guys can see live games more often, and we're able to still do a live game for you, and then also take pictures and do battle reports like this. So it's a shorter version of battle reports, so you don't have to sit there for 3 hours and listen to all the bullshit talking and all the background noise and all that stuff. So maybe doing something like that for Patreon as well, over on the Patreon. All these videos come out first on patreon.com, so if you guys want to support, you'll be able to see these ahead of time, about a week or two early on Patreon. And we might actually be doing once a week Patreon battles specifically with that new camera setup. So guys, I appreciate it. Thanks for clicking on the video. Let me know in the comments below what you liked, didn't like, how we can improve on the Dirtbag Nation, and we'll see you in another video soon. What's up, gents? Welcome to the Dirtbag Nation Patreon page. This is going to be support to the Dirtbag Nation, just to give you a little insight on what we're trying to do and trying to grow into. We're trying to grow a brand name of the Dirtbag Nation, 40k Dirtbags, going all over the country and coaching people to get better at the game of 40k. We have really good coaching over at the Dirtbag Nation. Myself is ranked #1 for Grey Knights in the world last year in 9th edition. This year, we're currently ranked #1 Chaos Space Marine player in the world on ITC 40k rankings. So we have a lot of experience over at the channel, and a lot of the coaches are going to start joining in and joining the Dirtbag Nation to help you guys get better at 40k. If you guys are new to the Patreon page, we have a couple different tiers. The first tier is the $1 tier. That's basically just coming over, supporting us for $1 a month. You get first access to the Dirtbag videos up on Patreon. The next tier is a $5 tier. Basically, you get first access, as well as just have a little bit more branding with the Patreon Discord page. And you want to support us a little bit more than $1 a month. I really appreciate both you guys. The $10 tier is the competitive Dirtbag page. That's where we get more into the tactics, one-on-one coaching on the Discord. And if you guys have any questions, comments, list ideas, tactics, or game questions, you guys get to message us one-on-one through Discord. Make sure you take advantage of that, because it's completely up to you to ask me any questions you possibly need in the 40k community. Finally, we have the Grandmaster Dirtbag. That Dirtbag is above and beyond. They come out and they basically want us to coach them one-on-one with calls on via Discord, TTS games, battle reports, or any tactical videos that you guys want suggestions to, you guys will get first access to, and we actually play live games for you guys, or go over battle reports for our Grandmasters. Anything armies that you want to see specifically on the tabletop, that's the Grandmaster Dirtbag page. So it's just an explanation on what the different tiers are for Patreon. But again, thank you so much for the support. If you guys are thinking about it, you do have really good coaching. We drink beers, we have fun, we just kind of chill out and teach you guys how to have fun at 40K, unlike some other people on YouTube. But have fun at 40K, be good, win some games, more than you're averagely winning over there all over the world. And if you guys really just want to support the channel, we have our $1 and $5 a month as well. There's all the stickers and dice available to you guys at a discount, and you have your own Patreon tab in Discord that nobody else has access to besides you guys. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for the support. We're gonna grow Dirtbag Nation as much as we possibly can in 2024 and get it all thanks to you guys. Appreciate it.